Good morning to you all. I hope all of you are doing well and taking proper precautions during this corona pandemic. This is your science lesson, so let's get started. Open up your science books. Yes, the yellow colored books are your science books. Open them up. This is how your books look like. Open it up quickly. Now, open your page number 52. Today we are going to learn about plants and animals around us. You can pause this video for 5 minutes and read the first paragraph. Please go ahead, pause this video and read the first paragraph. I hope you are done with reading. Let's get started with our chapter on plants and animals around us. Live on almost every part of the earth. Plants can live and grow on almost every part of the earth. Plants can live on land, they can live in oceans, under the sea, under the water, and plants can also live in high mountains or in hot, dry deserts. Now, we are going to discuss each of them one by one. But before that, have you seen plants around you? Have you seen big trees around you? What are those big trees? Those big trees are plants. And what about the grass around you? Have you seen grass? If yes, then it's also a plant. Now, bete, plants come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. We are going to discuss the plants according to their habitat, the place where they live. Land. The first type of plants are land plants. Land plants are those who can grow and live on land, like this big tree, like this grass, and these small flowers. They can all live on land. So, can we say they are land plants? Yes, we can. These all plants around us that we see every single day are land plants. Then we have ocean plants. There are some plants which live under the water around the fishes. Those plants are called ocean plants. Now those plants are where in the water. Can you guess which other living thing can lives under the water? If you have guessed fishes, you are right. Fishes, starfish, and other animals live. There are some animals which live under the water. Those animals will be called ocean animals. So, we have seen what in this diagram? Ocean plants and then ocean animals. Ocean plants and ocean animals are those who live under the water. Then there are some plants who live on high mountains, who can grow on high mountains, like these large pine trees. Have you ever visited places like Murray, Naran Kagan, Sawat, or Hunza Valley? If you have, you may have noticed that they have large number of those long trees. Those trees are called pine trees, and they can only grow in hilly areas, the places which have high mountains. Now, bete, after this, there are some desert plants. Plants who need very high temperature to grow. And what's the hottest place on earth? Yes, you guessed it right. It's a desert. Now, desert supports the growth of these plants. It helps these plants to grow. So most of these plants, which are named cactus, can grow in deserts only. Plants are habitat, a living place for many other animals, for smaller animals. In this diagram that is also mentioned in your book, different type of plant like dandelion, thistle, yarrow, shepherd's purse, plantain, then buttercup and daisy, they are habitat for different type of small insects, small animals. Then we are going to have an overview of where plants can grow. We all know that plants grow in different places. They can grow in deserts, they can grow in plain areas like around us. They can grow in areas where there is a lot of snowfall during the year, like in Murray or in cold places. And then there are plants who can grow on mountains, and then there are plants who can grow on marshy land. Marshy land are actually wetlands where there's a lot of dirt and mud which supports different plants to grow. Then rice can grow in a lot of water. Rice are also plants, right? Do you eat rice? If yes, then they are also plants. So next time when you are eating rice, you know that rice is a plant. Then there are some flowers, some plants which floats on the surface of water. Those plants are called floating plants. And then there are submerged plants. Plants which are present in the water are called submerged plants or ocean plants. Now, like plants, animals also live on every part of the earth. They can live on land, they can live in ocean, they can live on high mountains, and they can live in hot, dry deserts. Land animals are mostly animals around you. Have you ever seen a bear in cartoons or maybe on a Nat Geo National Geographic channel or Discovery? Bear, lion, elephant, and tiger, these all are land animals. They live on land. And then we have ocean animals. Now there are different animals in this picture. Can you guess the name of this animal? Take a guess. If you have guessed it, it's a sea turtle. Then you are right. And what about this star-shaped animal? This star-shaped animal is called starfish. And this animal with the large teeth is called walrus. Then we have a very cute animal over here. What's the name of this animal? Penguin. Yes, right. It's a penguin. Then we have this very smiley animal. What's the name of this smiley animal? Try to guess it. Yes, it's a seal. And then, have you noticed that this fish has a nose which looks like a sword? So we call this fish swordfish. And then this smiling red colored animal is called lobster. Then we have this animal with two different colors. Uh, when we look at this animal, can we say it's a fish? Yes, yes, we can say it's a fish. And what's the name of this fish? Clownfish, because it looks like a clown. And then there is a deadly fish. The name of this fish is piranha. Now we all know about ocean animals, and we also try to memorize few names. Try to memorize this diagram if you can. If you cannot, then it's okay. Move toward another category, high mountains. There are some type of animals who can live on high mountain like this pretty goat. It can live only on mountains. It can survive on mountains. Then we have dry desert animals. We all know that camels like to live in desert. So they are called what? Desert animals. Now this smiling camel likes to live in a place where the temperature is high. So what's the place? What's the name of the place where the temperature is very high? A desert. So these animals are called desert animals. Then we have some animals who likes to spend their time in the air, like these hawks. So these animals are called air animals, animals who like to live in the air. And do me a favor, read the second paragraph of this chapter on page number 52. Take 5 minutes, pause this video, and then after reading, resume it. I hope you are done with reading today. We are going to discuss the heading Habitat. Habitat is a place where different animals and plants live. Now, in this picture, can you see there is a squirrel on the tree and then there is a cow on the grass, on the ground. And then there are few rabbits and a fox and butterfly and a bird. These all animals are living in different habitats. Same is with the plant. This tree is on the ground. This is not in the air. It means what's the habitat of this tree? This ground is its habitat. This soil is what? Its habitat. Every animal in every plant have a different habitat. We need to know what is a habitat. Habitat is a place where plant or animal live. The place where plants or animals live is called its habitat. Every animal and every plant lives in a different habitat. Now, what is your habitat? You are a kid, right? So where do you live? You live in your home. Home sweet home. So can we say that home is your habitat? Is there any other place you live? Think about it. What's the place you like to live in? What's the name of that place? Home. So home is what? Your habitat. Then we are going to discuss plant habitat. Plant habitat is something where plants like to live. The place where a plant lives is called what? Plant habitat. Then animal habitat. Animal habitat is a place where animal lives. Now there are different animals in this picture. Every animal have a different home. Can butterflies live together with an owl or with a cow? No, because they have a different place to live. So can we say all of these animals have a different habitat? Now, there are some common habitats we can see around us. We know that some animals like to live in a desert. So can we say that desert is a habitat of these animals? Camels, coyotes, and other type of lizards. They like to live in deserts. So can we say desert is a habitat for these animals? Yes, we can say that. What about ocean? Do fishes live in ocean? And there are some ocean plants as well. So can we say ocean plants and ocean animals live in an ocean? It means ocean is a habitat. It is a place for those animals and plants to live. Then there are some animals who likes to live in a jungle. So jungle is what? Their habitat, a place where they like to live. And then there are some animals who like to live on polar ends, places which are very cool. So like this polar bear, like this penguin, like this walrus, all of these animals are living at a place which is very cool at a polar end. So can we say what's their habitat? Polar end. Then there are some animals who likes to live on grassland like those animals. So can we say this is their habitat? What's the name of their habitat? Grassland. So the place where they like to live is what? A grassland habitat. Then we have wetlands. Some animals like to live in wetlands. There are different types of habitats around us. You can find habitat everywhere. Pond have a different type of animals live in it. Grasses have different types of animals in it. Then walls can also grow some plants in them. What about the trunks of the trees? Animals and plants can grow inside the trunks of trees and also within the cracks in the concrete. Have you ever seen cracks in concrete in your school building, maybe? Maybe at your home? There are some cracks in concrete where certain plants can grow easily or some birds can make their nest. The first habitat that we are going to discuss is a pond habitat. Now in this picture, can you see a duck, a frog, and some fishes? And then there is there are other tiny insects, and then this snail. All of these animals and these plants have a habitat, and the name of that habitat is pond habitat. All of these animals and plants are living near the water. Some are floating on the water and some are under the water. So this is their what? Habitat. Our next habitat among grasses. There are some animals, you can see over here there's insect which is nearly invisible. This is the habitat for such type of small insects. These small insects like to live within grasses. So this is their habitat. Then we have walls habitated by different types of plants. You can see different plants growing inside them. So these plants have a habitat named wall habitat. Then we have trunks of the trees habitat. In certain trunks of the trees, a plant can grow or bird can make a nest. So this is what their habitat. Habitat of what? Habitat of small birds and small plants. Then within cracks in concrete, there are some plants who can grow easily among these cracks. So can we say these cracks in concrete are these plants' habitat? They can easily grow in such places. There are some animals who like cool and damp places, like ground beetle, like centipede, like springtail. These animals like to live in places which are cool and damp. If we have a place which is cool and damp, these insects can easily crawl into that place and they may have some dangerous effect on us as well. They can earwigs, millipede, and spider. These all animals like what? Cool and damp places. I'm going to pause this video and for 5 minutes, and you are going to read the last paragraph from book carefully. You can take help from your parents as well. I hope you are done with your reading. Now, bache, today we are going to discuss some animals and plants who live around us. There are some large animals which we can see around us, like cats, like dogs, even rats. So these all are big animals that we can see around us. But there are also some small animals who likes to live under the stones or in the logs of wood. They live in those places because they want to protect themselves from getting harmed by any other bigger animal. These places are safe hiding places which help them to hide themselves from any animal who can harm them, who can cause damage to them, who can kill them actually. Now, after discussing it, let's take a look of the animals who live under stones. Now, small animals lives under the stones. They live under stones to protect themselves from birds. Birds like to eat insects. Now, insects, for protecting themselves, most of the small animals like insects live under the stones so they can live a longer life. Then there are some animals like snakes, centipedes, then there is beetle and other types of spiders. They like to live in logs to protect themselves from any bigger animal who can kill them. So animals who live under the stones and the animals who live in logs, they are hiding themselves from any other dangerous animal. Now, then many animals also live under the heads of dead leaves under trees. Have you ever seen a tree? Under the tree there is always a heads of lot of dead leaves. Now these dead leaves are home for many smaller animals. Animals also like to live in hedges. You can see there is a dead leaf, and on that dead leaf there is an insect who looks very similar to this dead leaf. Such sort of animals live under those dead leaves, and they use remaining food of the plant to feed them. Then there are animals who like to live in hedges, like this little guy. He's living in a hedge and protecting itself from any other bigger animal who can harm him. There is a type of worms who lives in the soil, and those worms are called earthworms. Those earthworms eat rotting leaves, leaves who are no longer alive, which are no longer alive. Those leaves are eaten up by those earthworms. Then there are moles. These animals, they make holes in the soil and they live inside those holes. They eat earthworms. Now, what we have studied before, earthworms eat rotting leaves from the trees, and those earthworms are then eaten up by moles. That is all. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, ask your question right away. And good luck for your next class and for your assignment.
Welcome back, students, with the revision worksheet of plants and animals around us. Let's go through the worksheet quickly. Question number 1. State whether the statements are true or false. Number 1. Plants and animals live only on trees. Number 2. Some animals live in the air. Number 3. Spiders live in the water. Number 4. Moles eat snakes. Number 5. Earthworms live in the soil. Number 6. Many animals live in heaps of dead leaves. Now, question number 2 says, unscramble the following letters to make proper words. Now, here are a few letters. You have to arrange them in a way that they make sense. Okay? A, S, E. Now, how can you rearrange it? Let me solve one for you. S, E, A. C. Okay? C is a habitat for many animals. Number 2, IFSH. So this word will start with F. Number 3 is EBELTE. Number 4, ODG. Number 5, EBE. Question number 3, fill in the missing letters. Now here you have to fill in these dashes with the missing letters so that the word is completed. Number 1, P-N-D. P-O-N-D. Pond. Okay? Number 2, GRASS-S. Number 3, LEA-ES. Number 4, DE-ERTS. Now question number 4, where do these animals live? If an animal lives in the land, write L. If it swims in water, write W. If it flies in air, write A. Now here are a few animals. You have to tell where these animals live. Precisely, you have to tell what is their habitat. Lion. Where does a lion live? Tadpole. Number 3, swallow. And number 4, bee. Question number 5. Answer the following questions. Number 1. Can fish live in mountains and cats in ocean? You have to tell, is this possible? Number 2. What is habitat? Number 3. Name any few places where different animals live. You have to tell any different types of habitat here. Okay, with this we end our today's revision worksheet. All the best. Allah Hafiz.